Hi guys, it's Amajot here with me, sharing as much as I can, as often as I can, ways in which you can create more relief in your life from stress, from worry, panic, anxiety, depression, helping you to improve your health, live a happier and healthier life, and create more ease in the stressful lives that we have right now. And it is possible, whether you take a shot of it every day or whether you create it over time. Change happens over time anyway. You know that's how I feel. You know that's true. That's a fact. Change happens over time. You didn't become stressed or stuck or have the continuous strain in your life all of a sudden. It would have happened over a period of time. And even if you had a jolt out of the blue, a shock about a decision or an illness, that may have come out of the blue. But don't you find when things happen out of the blue, you seem to get on with it? You seem to take what's given. Do you find that? You seem to just handle whatever's thrown at you, especially if it's out of the blue. It's the stuff that builds up over a period of time that all of a sudden you're like, when did I become so stressed? And then you want to relieve it straight away in one day or in 1 week. It takes time. Give yourself time. Give yourself some patience. And the reason that I'm thinking of, the stuff that gets thrown at you, I'm thinking about what happens when something disrupts our life, something disrupts our cycle that we're in. And I disrupted my cycle today, my usual kind of routine today. And it wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentionally I wasn't disrupting intentionally, but it did do that. And I went on a hot air balloon ride today, something I've always wanted to do. So I had booked it in. I booked you could book an early morning slot or an afternoon slot. I had this voucher that I'd had to use from ages ago. And I finally booked it. And I took the early morning slot because I wanted to watch the sunrise and then realised the sun will already be up by the time we get on the balloon. So, but it was fine. Got up really, really early. Didn't sleep that well. And so felt tired. Had to drive to a location that was further than I had chosen because they changed it because of the winds. And so I had to drive out to the Chilterns, almost an hour's drive. Lovely, gorgeous drive. But what it did two things. One was it disrupted my cycle. And I think anything that disrupts your normal routine, your normal structure, your normal way of being, it kind of almost shocks you into thinking differently or feeling differently. And I think that's a good thing, because if we're feeling stressed, if we're feeling like we're in that same monotonous, nothing's going to change, like it almost feels like a rut and you don't know what to do. I've been there. Like, people telling me I'm in a rut when I was at my kind of peak of burnout and I didn't know what to do. And I knew I was in a rut. I just didn't know what to change. It's like I couldn't come off that hamster wheel. And actually, when I was diagnosed with my illness, what it did is it disrupted my cycle. It made me go and do something else. And then I kind of just got on with that. I had no choice. That inner core resilience in me kicked in, which I know we all have. It kicked in. And so maybe sometimes we need to force that inner resilience to kick in by disrupting the cycle ourselves. And okay, what I did was kind of like out of the norm. I wanted to do it and I wanted to have fun. It was scary. Like, I don't like fairground rides, but I like to do these things out of my comfort zone sometimes, because it reminds me that I have to disrupt my cycle and my routine to invite new things, to invite new feelings, even if they're uncomfortable. And also it can disrupt your normal feelings of, there might be fear or anxiety. It kind of takes you out of relying on those, because I think we can get reliant on those feelings and they become a habit, those feelings as well. And we kind of start relying on them. We kind of sometimes start thriving from them, especially the adrenaline of stress. Sometimes we can thrive on the fact that we're on a high. We have to get things done. That constant pressure, it can become a little bit addictive, I think. And I think certainly I was kind of addicted to that to some extent in the past. And possibly sometimes still, thrive on the high of the adrenaline rush of pressure. But it's not good for us. I don't believe it's good enough for us physically or mentally or emotionally over a long period of time. It affects our health in a negative way. So if we can do fun things that disrupt our cycle, even if they're uncomfortable. Even today I was like, why did I book this? I don't even like fairground rides, and it was quite scary. The takeoff was quite scary. Jumping into the basket was a little bit scary. And then we got up high, and this is the second thing I wanted to say to you, was perspective. Standing back and looking at the bigger picture of your life can be so useful. And this time of year where we're kind of in that summer period, some things might have slowed down. Like maybe you have slowed down and you've taken time off to be with your family, or you've gone on holiday, or maybe it's just as hectic having to look after children in the summer holidays, or maybe you're having to cover a lot of people at work because everybody else seems to be on holiday and you can't seem to find the time or the space to take that break. And so it's a really good time to just, whichever position you're in right now, just sit back and review. Sit back, take a bird's eye view. I mean, we were overlooking some amazing scenery today over the Chiltern Valley, and the birds were below us. So imagine you're sitting at bird's eye view or above in your life, like what's going well and what isn't going well. And it can be scary to look at what isn't going well. It really can. I believe, I know that. I know there's sometimes I want to bury my head in the sand. But that doesn't mean you necessarily have to do something about it right now. Just acknowledge what's not going well for you, and then acknowledge what is going well for you, even if that takes you a bit longer to think about. Take a bird's eye view of your life and get back into perspective, and just that alone can create some relief sometimes. And then you can decide, do I want to do something about this today? Do I want to do something about the things that aren't going well? What can I do to disrupt my cycle today? What can I do that's out of the habit, out of the norm? Take a different route home. Like I got a little bit lost coming home because I had the sat nav on, but I didn't have it on. I had the volume on mute. I did get a little bit lost coming back home. It's okay. It's fine. It had a nice scenic view. So, what can you do to disrupt your cycle today? Do something different. Walk a different route. Drive a different route. Try taking a shower at a different time. Disrupt the current, and your perspective will also change as well. And then have a look at your bird's eye view of your life, what's going on right now. I hope those things were useful for you today. I'm going to go and have my breakfast now. I will speak to you soon. Bye.